Let's just go with it and pray with me if you would. As I take that deep breath moment to know within myself that there is something so much greater than all of us at play in the universe. But in this moment, we are each of us deeply connected with one another and with that which is so profound and so loving and so kind, so forgiving, so open. And so I know right now that this celebration, which we come together each week to have together, to be with one another and with a new thought, a new idea, a new opening in our spiritual life, I know that this day is absolutely blessed. That there is something magic that happens this morning for each and every one of us in this experience. I bless the work of Reverend Jenny as she delivers this message this morning. I bless the work of our staff, our team, our musicians who continue. And if you would,
have you and go in.
Doesn't it? Long rambles in the English countryside. In 8, author Brian Hall wrote a biography of Robert Frost in which he states something that we all are faced with in life, and that is that whichever way they go, they're sure to miss something good on the other path. Whichever way they go, they're sure to miss something good on the other path. But to me, that's the most significant point of the poem, Path Less Traveled. The idea we will experience all of life. Either path is going to be filled with joys, with sorrows, and with the mundane. And many of us come to realize, hopefully, as Frost did, that the point is not to pick the right path, because whatever path we choose is the right path. The point is to choose one, and to choose one consciously, with intention. It's like Mary Morrissey says, that we can choose to live by design or by default. And as many of us know, not choosing one of the two roads is still choosing, right? It's choosing by default. Because life isn't stagnant. It will go on and deliver to us the next breath and the next moment and the next, even if we just sit in our chair staring at the crossroads. But it behooves us to do our best to choose by design, by how we would most like the experience of our lives to feel. But whatever choice we make, we will get to live through an array of events. The hassle of downed trees across the path, the humdrum of many flat, not very interesting miles, the sense of accomplishment as we push ourselves toward a summit, and the joys and awe of gorgeous, wide open vistas spread at our feet. But choosing consciously is still only part of the way to live a happier life. The other part depends on how we respond to the downed trees, the mundane miles, the times that we slip back on the path as we venture toward the summit. Because, after all, when we think that the new car is the better prize, well, shucks, we could crash the new car the very next day. While really winning the goat might lead us to start our own goat operation, selling goat milk to stores, making goat milk soap, selling goat hair to yarn shops. Who knows? It could be a business that becomes the Ben and Jerry of goat products. How we respond to what is put in front of us plays a huge part in how happy we are in life. But that's a deeper discussion for another Sunday. And today we're going to stick with exploring the road itself. Now, having been instilled since birth in the ideas of individualism and independence, maybe because I'm an American, maybe because my dad was an extreme independent individual, I have most always chosen the road less traveled. Now, a lot of times in my younger years, I felt like I was overlooked. And so I thought that this would give me a way to set myself apart and to be recognized for doing something different and unique. But striving for that kind of recognition is really just another way of letting someone else set your path, right? Because you're still doing it for someone else's recognition. As I grow older, I realize that more important than choosing the road less traveled, I had to choose the path that would let me live as my most authentic self. And so I use that idea to guide me. But from the vantage point that Frost writes about at the end of the poem, when I shall be telling this with a sigh somewhere ages and ages hence, I've now come to a place where I believe that any path really is the right path. And I believe this is true because I believe that no matter what path we pick, we will be transformed by it. And, in my experience, not all transformation is an easy process. But I'm not afraid of that anymore because not only have I learned that I can always pick a new path, but I've developed the faith that we are always spiritually supported by the energy, the force that we call spirit. And I believe that this force is a force of love. Ernest Holmes tells us that limitation and fear do not exist in God's in God's kingdom. Light of the Spirit within me dissolves every obstruction in my path. Everything unlike the perfect nature disappears. My entire thought, will, and imagination are saturated with the divine presence, which forever proclaims, "Behold, I make all things new." Now, some of this might seem a little fatalistic, and I don't really mean it to sound that way or in any way intend that we can abdicate consciously making choices that are in our best interest. I don't mean to say that I could choose to hurt myself or someone else and have my human experience be the best that it could be. What I mean is what Ernest Holmes means when he writes, "I know that all the power there is and all the presence there is love, the Almighty Spirit. I know that love protects me and that I am guided and guarded into the pathways of peace, of joy, and of security. I know that this is true of all people. And this is my prayer of acceptance today and every day. I feel myself safe in the keeping of the divine love." What I mean is that because I believe what New Thought teaches, what Ernest Holmes just said, that God, that Spirit is a force of love, and that we are its representatives here on earth, that we live our best lives on the paths that lead us to being the best representative spirit that we can be. So our desire, our commitment in life is to continually choose to be love, to be peace, to be light, to be joy, to use the universal wisdom that is part of who we are, to act with kindness in ways that promote truth and justice for all. And to me, whether we pick this road or that road, door number 1, 2, or 3, that is what will make all the difference. Just pray with me right now. I just take this moment to know deep within my being, to know that God is all there is, and that we are divinely supported, divinely loved, divinely guided, because we are spirit on earth. There is nothing that we cannot face. There is nothing that we cannot get through. There is no decision that we can make that we can't alter, in which we are not supported, in which we are not guided, guarded, and loved. And so I know that we can choose to go forward, that we can make those decisions with confidence, with security, with peace, and with calm. Realizing that there is not only more than one path, but that we have all of the tools that we need to move the tree in front of us, to climb the hill before us, to enjoy those miles of mundane walking. I know that there are those in the world who don't realize this yet. And so this morning, I know that love surrounds each and every one of them. I know that they are held and guided and guarded just as I am. And I affirm that I do my best to consciously choose whatever path, whether it be the path less traveled or the path most traveled, but that it be the path that produces kindness, that produces love, that enables more peace in this world, that makes this world a better place. And so, with deep assurance and with the joy of that assurance, I know that I can just take a breath. I can take a breath and let this prayer go. I can let it be. I know that God has heard every word. The God inside me has heard every word. And I declare the truth of this for myself. And you can join me in declaring it for yourself by joining me in saying, and so it is. Amen.